house is steeped in the scent of liniment and regret. A modest two-bedroom box perched on the outskirts of Milford, Pennsylvania, where the Susquehanna River slices through the landscape like a sharp blade. 3 years passed. I might have strolled to the diner while I served plates of meatloaf and flashed smiles for tips. In this moment, my existence unfolds within the confines of this living room, where a sagging couch bears witness to my days. A wheelchair rests quietly in the corner, and pill bottles stand at attention on the coffee table, each telling a story of its own. The accident claimed my legs, my job, and nearly stole my very essence. A pickup, driven by a drunk, collided with me on Route 6, leaving behind scars that tell a story more powerful than words ever could. Once upon a time, there was a woman named Claire Bennett, 35 years old, navigating the world as a single mum who once held a different place in the story of life. Now I find myself awake, bound to this dwelling and to him, Ethan, my child, my connection to life. At 20, he's a bundle of muscle with quiet eyes, the sort of young man who would choose to tinker with a carburetor over sharing his emotions. Without him, I would find myself in a forgotten state, lost in the shadows of a rundown home. In his presence, I transform into a different being, an essence that eludes my grasp, one I'm not yet prepared to define. The front door lets out a haunting creak as Ethan's boots make a heavy thud against the mat. He returns from the garage, the scent of motor oil and summer heat enveloping him, his flannel shirt hugging his strong shoulders. "Mother, have you had something to eat today?" he calls, his voice a whisper, as if he's already aware of the truth that lingers in the air. I adjust myself on the couch, feeling the pulsing ache in my legs beneath the warm blanket. "Not hungry," I whisper softly. He enters the room, towering at 6'2", his dark hair slick with sweat, those piercing green eyes, reminiscent of his absent father's, fixate on me, as if they can see right through to my soul. "You gotta eat, Claire," he says. He lets his toolbox fall to the floor by the door, the sound of metal clinking reverberating through the stillness. He's the sole one who addresses me as Claire now, not Mum. Not since the accident forged a peculiar bond between us, leveling the playing field in an unexpected manner. He kneels beside me, inspecting the brace on my knee with a quiet intensity, his hands moving with purpose, unspoken questions lingering in the air. His hands bear the marks of toil, rough and callous from wrenches and long hours, yet they move with a tenderness that stirs something deep within me. "Is today a day filled with discomfort?" he inquires. I nod, my eyes drifting away from his gaze. He lingers too near, an essential presence, and I despise the depth of my reliance on him. "Lie back," Ethan commands, his voice firm and unyielding. Not pausing for consent, he gently elevates my legs onto the couch, his fingers grazing my calf with a tender touch. I recoil, not from agony, but from the searing intensity of his touch, charged and unsettling. "Calm yourself," he whispers as his hands begin to work the tense muscles encircling my knee. His hands move with precision, unraveling the tangled threads that bind me in restless slumber. But then his thumb glides higher, brushing against the inside of my thigh, and my breath hitches. "Ethan," I murmur, a blend of caution and yearning. He lingers, his fingers posed above the scar that winds its way up my leg, a jagged testament to the crash. "This is acceptable?" he inquires, his voice now gentle, as if he's probing something deeper than my suffering. I give a slight nod. For what other choice do I have? He is my everything. His hands dance once more, purposeful and steady, as they press into the taut muscle just beneath my shorts. My heart races, and I press my teeth into my lip to stifle a gasp. It's merely a massage, I remind myself, a devoted son lending a hand to his beloved mother. Yet, as his fingertips linger, gently grazing the hem of my shorts, My body reveals its secrets, igniting a warmth that feels both thrilling and forbidden. He halts, his hands lingering on me, and for a fleeting moment, the air around us stands still, untouched by breath. Better? He inquires, his voice gravelly. Indeed. I weave tales of deception, my skin aflame from his touch. He gently drapes the blanket back over my legs and rises, deliberately steering clear of my gaze. I'll make dinner, he says, departing and leaving me to bear the heavy silence of what has just unfolded. The days meld into a fog of relief and quiet. Our modest dwelling in Milford, Pennsylvania, a sanctuary for two souls entwined. Most mornings, Ethan finds himself at the garage, leaving me alone with the soft hum of the TV and the treacherous whispers of my own thoughts. I find myself revisiting that moment, his hands resting on my thigh, igniting my body like a spark in the dark. It's a conflict within me. Claire, I remind myself, yet the desire remains unyielding. He is my son, my savior, and now he embodies something more something that sends my heart racing at the sound of his truck rolling into the drive. He has returned to his sanctuary, crafting a pot of spaghetti in the heart of the kitchen, the symphony of clanging pots creating a comforting melody. I roll myself to the doorway, observing him as he strides, all broad shoulders and quiet determination. As he stretches to grab a jar of sauce, his t-shirt rides up, unveiling a striking tattoo on his lower back, a wrench intertwined with a rose. He acquired it last summer, yet he kept the reason to himself. You're staring, Claire, he teases, catching my eye. I feel a rush of warmth, whispering something about the aroma of garlic. Yet, he has changed in recent times. His looks hold a moment longer, and his voice softens to a whisper when he speaks my name. And, by divine grace, I find myself becoming aware. The doorbell slices through the evening air, a jarring interruption that feels out of place. Ethan cleans his hands on a dish towel, casting a glance my way. Stay put, he says, as if I have any say in the matter. There stands Mrs. Larson, our neighbor, her voice weaving through the screen door like a gentle breeze. Just reaching out, Ethan. Is your mom doing all right? Her concern is nothing but a facade, her eyes perpetually searching for the next morsel of gossip to bring to the church potluck. I clutch the arms of my wheelchair, my stomach churning with unease. Can she perceive it? The way Ethan lingers just a breath away. The way I find myself leaning into him, almost instinctively. Ethan graciously declined her kind offer to bring over a pie. We're doing well, Mrs. Larson. Thank you. Yet she remains, extolling his unwavering commitment. What a wonderful young man you are, looking after your mother in such a thoughtful way. I long to shout that he is not merely a boy, but a man burdened with weight too heavy for her limited understanding to grasp. The door closes with a definitive thud, and Ethan stands there, his back rigid, jaw clenched tight. He mutters, sitting across from me. She's quite the inquisitive one. His knee grazes mine beneath the table, and I flinch, my fork clattering in surprise. He remains silent, observing me with his enigmatic green eyes, offering no apologies. The atmosphere thickens, a palpable tension hanging as if a tempest is on the horizon. As the evening unfolds, the house sinks into shadows, illuminated solely by the flickering glare of a muted baseball game. Ethan sits on the couch beside me, his presence lingering a bit too close for comfort. Though my legs ache, I choose to carry on without seeking assistance. A shiver runs down my spine at the thought of his touch and the unknown consequences it may bring. You're silent this evening, he remarks, his tone gravelly, as if he's been gnawing on thoughts for far too long. I let out a soft sigh, my gaze fixed on the screen, weariness settling in. He moves, his arm lightly grazing against mine. Have you ever pondered what I sacrificed? My breath halts, a moment suspended in time. What is it that you seek? He leans in, resting his elbows on his knees, ready to share a tale. The journey of college. Companions. A tale unfolds. I remained here for you, Claire. His words struck with the force of a blow, intertwining guilt and gratitude deep within my chest. I never asked you to, I whisper softly. He pivots, his visage mere inches from my own, eyes ablaze with intensity. There was no obligation to do so. You are the center of my universe. The tone he uses, deep and intense, is not the way a son should speak to his mother. It's a revelation, a boundary breached. I find myself hesitating, caught in a moment I know I should escape, yet I remain anchored in place. The screen glows, illuminating his features with a dance of light and shadow, and I sense we stand at the precipice of an irreversible moment. Thunder shakes the windows of our Milford house as a late summer storm sweeps through Pennsylvania with a fierce determination, as if it has something to prove. As the power fades away, we are enveloped in shadows, the comforting hum of the TV giving way to the eerie howl of the wind. Here I sit on the couch, a cozy blanket draped over my lap, feeling the familiar throb in my legs, more intense than ever before. Ethan stands beside me, his presence radiating a warmth that I cannot overlook. Are you all right, Claire? He inquires, his voice soft, as if he fears shattering something delicate. I acknowledge. Yet, the shadows compel me to speak the truth. I'm feeling a bit off, not with him this close, not with the way my skin recalls his touch. He ignites a candle, its soft glow dancing across his chiseled jaw, revealing green eyes that seem to hold the weight of untold stories. He envelops us in a blanket, his arm grazing mine, and I remain still, not pulling away. The fabric clings to our thighs, a quiet pact forged in stillness. The tempest beyond my window reflects the turmoil within, a whirlwind of chaos and longing. His hand rests on my knee, not to ease any discomfort, but to ground us both. Is that you, Claire? He whispers, and it's not a query. It serves as a cautionary tale. I ought to put an end to this. I do not. His fingers glide up my thigh, slow and deliberate, and my breath catches, echoing in the stillness. Tell me to stop, Ethan says, his voice rough and pleading, yet his hand continues its movement without hesitation. I find myself at a loss for words, unable to think beyond the blaze ignited where his skin brushes against mine. My quietude grants him the freedom he seeks, and he is aware of it. He draws closer, his breath a gentle warmth against my cheek, and then his lips meet mine with a fierce urgency, as if he has been longing for this moment. I pressed my lips against his, my fingers gripping his shirt tightly, drawing him nearer. It's a misstep, a true misstep, yet it's use unfiltered, daring, authentic. His tongue brushes against mine, and I gasp, my body arching toward him. The blanket slips from our grasp, left behind as he draws closer, a blend of strength and desire. My fingers sink into his shoulders, nails grazing the skin, and he lets out a groan, a sound that ignites a warmth deep within me. You sense it, he murmurs softly against my lips, his body pressing closer. This is our tale. The flickering candlelight sways, weaving shadows that cloak our transgressions. In this moment, we are not defined by the roles of mother and son. We are something extraordinary, a creation born from the ashes of that fateful accident that took everything away. We separate, breathless, as the tempest continues to howl beyond the walls. The candle has extinguished, plunging us into shadows. Yet, I sense Ethan's gaze upon me, laden with the weight of our actions. My lips ignite with fire, my body quaking under the weight of unrestrained shame. Claire, he begins, his voice trembling. But I interrupt him, refrain from doing that. The echoes of what just transpired elude my ears, and I find myself unable to confront the stark reality of it all. My son leaned in and pressed his lips against mine, and I return the gesture with a gentle kiss of my own. Oh, what a weed, truly. He extends his hand toward me, yet I retreat, drawing inward on the couch. The power surges back to life. A blinding light pouring into the room, revealing our presence. Ethan's shirt hangs askew, his hair tousled, and I can sense that I mirror his disheveled appearance perfectly. "We can reverse this," he asserts, devoid of remorse, simply confident. I nod, my eyes brimming with tears. I yearn to unleash a cry, to flee into the unknown. Yet my legs remain anchored, refusing to obey. He lingers for a moment, uncertainty hanging in the air, before making his way to the kitchen, leaving me to grapple with the gravity of our decision. The storm outside may be waning, yet the tempest within me is only just starting to stir. We have ventured beyond a threshold, and there is no turning back now. 6 months have passed, and our Milford house now seems to shrink around us, its walls whispering secrets that weigh too heavily for us to bear. Ethan and I tread softly now, our gestures concealed behind the veil of closed curtains. On my left hand, I don a simple silver ring, a subtle deception that silences the curious inquiries from neighbors regarding the dating life of a single mother. We have transcended the roles of mother and son, lost in the shadows, where his hands seek me, and my whispers silence the weight of remorse. Yet, the arrival of daylight unveils a sense of shame. Piercing like the ache in my legs, Ethan stands apart, his green eyes gentle, as if he has discovered tranquility amidst our transgressions. He continues to toil at the garage, still lifting me into my wheelchair, yet his touch lingers, a whisper of what is to come. We are a fuse reduced to ash, yet the fire remains, quietly smoldering within. Whether it's love or madness remains a mystery, yet it belongs to us, and for the moment, that is all that matters. Mrs. Larson finds us at the grocery store, her smile wide and bright. "Ethan, you truly are a gem, looking after your mama in such a way," she remarks, glancing at my ring. I compel a nod, my hand tightening around Ethan's. He grips firmly, unwavering, as if challenging the universe to take notice. She is preoccupied, caught up in her chatter about the church bake sale. As we depart, the sound of my wheelchair echoes softly, while his footsteps resonate with confidence. Not a soul suspects, not a single glance is cast twice. In the shadows of everyday life, we navigate our existence, concealing our reality beneath the facade of small-town niceties. In the car, Ethan's hand lies on mine, radiating warmth, unyielding in its presence. The Susquehanna sparkles in the light, a silent observer of the world around it. As we journey home, side by side yet solitary, we are tethered by a love that holds the power to unravel us. The future looms like a shadow, yet in this moment, we are more than sufficient. I move forward, for the past holds no treasures for me.